Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining Lewis University's television network. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2022. I'm Tony DeNardis.
And I'm Randall Sutton.
And we begin with our top local stories.
According to a Guardian analysis, 1 in 20 tap water tests performed for thousands of Chicago residents found lead, a neurotoxin at or above U.S. government limits. Water engineer Elin Betanazzo, who helped uncover the Flint water crisis, said the lead levels in Chicago are very concerning. The state gave Chicago 50 years to replace its lead service lines, with the estimated cost of each replacement as high as $30,000.
The cause of a building explosion and collapse in Chicago's Austin neighborhood is still under investigation. The explosion and collapse Tuesday left 8 people injured, with 3 in serious condition. Fire officials said the blast occurred around 9 a.m. on the top floor of the building, which is located at the intersection of West End and Central Avenue. People felt the blast blocks away, and a few across the street were injured. The property owner said his office is working with all the affected residents to help them secure housing. A nearby church served as a Red Cross shelter for displaced residents, providing them with food and a place to sleep.
According to authorities, an off-duty Chicago police officer who was hospitalized after being shot in the face had been relieved of her police duties days earlier because there were drugs in her system. The female officer was shot during a road rage incident in the Irving Park neighborhood Tuesday and has been released from the hospital. The shooter escaped in a black SUV. At this time, no arrests have been made. According to authorities, no one else in the car with the officer when she was shot.
The previously unknown Illinois lottery winner of the $1.34 billion Mega Millions jackpot has come forward almost 8 weeks after the drawing. The prize was shared by 2 people who agreed to remain anonymous. They both choose. The ticket was purchased at a speedway on Touhy Avenue in Des Plaines around the end of July. This was the 3rd largest jackpot in U.S. history. The Mega Millions jackpot roll started on April 16th until July 29th. During the roll, Illinois Lottery generated $34 million for the Common School Fund through the sale of the game.
Lewis journalism students visited a local TV station in one of their classes this week. LUTN reporter Cameron Ashby has the story.
Sports, news, and entertainment. These are what you can find at Naperville Community Television. 2022 marks the 35th anniversary of NCTV 17 as a nonprofit organization. NCTV 17 covers everything from parades, elections, and company events to sports highlights and interviews covering all 6 of their local high schools, connecting members of the community to the events that happen in their community. Lewis University students from Professor Hemingway's digital media writing class had the opportunity to tour NCTV 17's studio in Naperville and sit in on a production on a live show called Business Connection. Students saw firsthand the planning, production, and post-production that goes into a local broadcast.
I learned a lot of the behind-the-scenes aspects, the actual, production of news.
You typically overlay graphics like
Correct. We'll add graphics, we'll add music off the front, good question. Off the front and the bottom, or the top and the bottom, music and graphics we'll put, to the business connection, the show logo, and then it'll dissolve.
During the tour, students had a chance to talk to Spencer about some of the content on NCTV 17 and what to expect in the future.
Our 4 main buckets for NCTV 17 are news, sports, talk, and events. So we try to give everybody a little bit of variety. We want to keep you informed, engaged, and connected to the community. So we do that through news and sports, and then we try to engage you with your community a little further with the talk shows, and then we cover the events that people need to know about. Our latest talk show that we launched is called 630 Naperville, and that's doing very well. It's a magazine-style show, so there's a little bit for everybody there, and that's our newest launch, and I would keep an eye on it.
You can find NCTV 17 at nctv17.org. For LUTN, this is Cameron Ashby.
Thank you, Cameron. When we return, we have the leading national headlines.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Angelina Jolie is in Pakistan to draw international attention to the country's humanitarian crisis after weeks of deadly flooding. The Hollywood actress and activist visited some of the hardest hit areas in southern Pakistan Tuesday and spoke to reporters. The Pakistani government says more than 33 million people have been impacted by the flooding since June. Almost 1,600 have died, including more than 500 children. UNICEF says nearly 3.5 million children need immediate life-saving support.
The Federal Trade Commission says Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and CEO Andy Jassy must testify in its investigation into the company. The FTC is investigating whether the company misled people into subscribing to Amazon Prime and other services. The decision comes after earlier Amazon claims that FTC staff were harassing the two men and imposing undue burdens on them. The company filed a petition to the agency's topmost officials asking them to intervene, but agency commission said Amazon had not met the legal threshold to block the civil subpoenas issued to the two men.
Some Tesla owners might need to get some repair work done. More than 1 million vehicles are being recalled, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety officials. The windows in these Teslas don't stop rolling up and retract quickly when an object is detected. That could pose a potential injury hazard to people inside the vehicle. Among those affected by the recall, Tesla Model 3s from 2017 through 2022 and Model S vehicles from 2021 and 2022. Tesla says the issue can be fixed with a software update free of charge. More information is available on NHTSA's website.
Alexander, who now uses a walker, acquitted yesterday at the Harris County Community Criminal Justice Center. The jury finding her were not guilty. It was April of 2018 when she told police that she took a knife away from her husband, Lionel Alexander, and stabbed him in self-defense. There had been a history of domestic violence calls at the home, said HPD, and an autopsy, though, revealed her husband was stabbed 89 times. A grand jury indicted Miss Alexander, and when the police went to the home on Valley Wind to arrest her, a year after her husband's death, she set a fire that burned it down and injured her. Her attorney said that that was a suicide attempt from years of suffering. So many twists in this case.
Mortgage rates are the highest they've been since 2008. They've been climbing for more than a month now, hitting 6.29%. According to Freddie Mac. To put it into perspective, it was 2.88% this time last year. recession fears have been making rates more volatile in the face of yet another rate hike from the Federal Reserve and its ongoing fight against inflation because of the higher rates. Home prices have started to soften and sales have decreased, but there is still a shortage of available homes for sale.
When we return, we have our first Lewis Spotlight.
And later, we have the latest in entertainment news. Stay with us.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
I would like to welcome Kirill Sidorko, who is a foreign student from Almaty, Kazakhstan. He was recruited to Lewis for swimming, and he is a freshman at the school. So I'd like to welcome Kirill. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
And I mentioned that you were recruited to Lewis for swimming, and I only know we've been in school for about 3 weeks, but how has swimming gone for you so far?
I mean, I really enjoy the team here right now. I enjoy my teammates. They're super helpful. I've made friends like the very first week. The coach here is what I've been expecting for, what I've been looking for all the time. So it's like perfect. The team is very enjoyable. It's very fun to be around, and it's very helpful, motivating. It's perfect.
Well, I'm glad you've been fitting in real fast here at Lewis. So what is different about Illinois compared to your hometown?
I mean, back in Almaty, Kazakhstan, obviously Kazakhstan is a third world country. It's still a developing country, and there's a big difference between the architecture, overall the buildings, and the mentality of the people back home compared to here. Like everything here is a lot more westernized, a lot bigger, and obviously the economy and the prices here are a lot bigger as well.
I know you've mentioned a lot of differences, but is there like one particular thing or maybe a couple things that have been challenging for you since you've been here?
I mean, the most challenging part here is probably the time difference and the fact that like this is a very big step into my future and into my career where I'm going across the ocean to study, to swim, and continue my career here. All my family is back home, my friends are back home, and it's very hard to communicate sometimes. And I try my best with every single one of them to like not lose contact and always stay in touch.
And how often do you communicate with your family?
I communicate with my family as much as I possibly can because I do get homesick. It's hard, it's still hard, but I do the best, probably like 3 times a week.
I know it's going to take a while for you to get used to things, but on a positive note, what has been your favorite thing here at Lewis since you've come here?
Oh, my favorite thing was so far has been for sure the community here and the environment and how I'm getting treated here. Like everyone is extremely helpful, extremely positive, extremely supportive. It's been great so far.
And I know, obviously, when people think of Illinois, they think of Chicago.
Yep.
Right? And have you been to Chicago?
Yeah. I flew into Chicago on the 14th, so that was my first time arriving to the U.S. I've been there until the 22nd, so I explored the city. I actually came with a couple of my friends back from high school, and it was a very enjoyable time together.
Chicago is a great time. I wish I went up there more.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I want to thank you for joining us today, and I wish you the best of luck here at Lewis. And up next, we will have your weather.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Hollywood has honored the first American Idol winner, singer and talk show host Kelly Clarkson, with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Monday. Clarkson first entered the national spotlight as a contestant on American Idol in 2002. She would go on to win the show's first season, and her song off of the show became the year's best-selling single in the United States. Her star is now the 2,733rd star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Country singer Marin Morris says she's thinking about skipping the CMA Awards. Morris is nominated for Album of the Year, but in the LA Times article published Tuesday, the star said she wouldn't feel comfortable attending the ceremony after a recent dispute with Jason Aldean and his wife Brittany. The dispute happened after the couple made comments on social media about young people receiving gender-affirming care. Morris criticized those comments as transphobic. In talking about not attending, Morris said she felt the need to stand against bigotry that she sees in the country music community.
Bad Bunny had a good summer. The Puerto Rican rapper and singer has earned 10 nominations for the upcoming Latin Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. Bunny received the most nominations of any artist. Raúl Alejandro followed with 8 nominations. Christina Aguilera, Jorge Drexler, and Rosalia scored 7 each. The 23rd annual Latin Grammys will take place November 17th in Las Vegas.
Brad Pitt is taking his talents to a whole new genre, which is sculpting. Pitt just made his debut in a group expedition in Finland called We. He has 9 works displayed, including a house-shaped structure shot up with bullets in a coffin-sized bronze box, depicting limbs attempting to break through. Pitt says his artistic turn was born of self-reflection and taking ownership of mistakes he's made. This is the first time Pitt has displayed his work publicly. The show is on view until January 15th.
Actress Kate Winslet took a fall while filming a movie in Croatia. Her team says she was taken to the hospital as a precaution and is fine and will resume filming as planned this week. Winslet is filming the historical film Lee. The Oscar winner stars as Lee Miller, a war correspondent for Vogue during World War II.
Next up, we will have your 5-day weather forecast.
Stay tuned.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. Today, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. Today, it's a high of 61 degrees, low of 48. Friday is cloudy with a high of 65 degrees and a low of 53. And Saturday, this weekend, is wonderful. Go to the pumpkin patch, guys, because it's a high of 74 and a low of 57. Sunday is a high of 70 and a low of 52. And Monday is getting cold again, so bring out your jackets. It's a high of 67 degrees and a low of 47. And up next, we will have our sports news.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Last Monday, the men's tennis team competed in a tournament at Indianapolis. At doubles, Omer Gorgon and Zachary Matuzak advanced to quarterfinals after defeating Drury 8-4. Oliver Wiersbicki and Grant Miller also made an appearance in the quarterfinals in Flight C. In singles, Gorgon defeated Northwood in a close match of 7-6, which led him to advance to the quarterfinals in Flight A.
Lewis men's lacrosse coach Joe Peruzzi just announced the hiring of 2 new assistant coaches, Evan Kilbane and Brandon Kearney. Kilbane was the goalie and defensive coordinator at Benedictine, and prior to that, played at Benedictine and was a starting goalie. Kearney comes from Marquette University and was the director of lacrosse operations. Peruzzi is excited for the upcoming season with the new coaching staff.
The Flyers raced to a third-place finish at the Notre Dame National Catholic Invitational on Friday, losing only to Notre Dame and Loras, who the Flyers were just 1 point away from defeating. The men were led by Daniel Arimi, who placed 15th overall. Not far behind were Ricardo Del Toro and Evan Jamrosi, who placed 20th and 23rd, respectively. The Flyers will be back in action October 8th for the Lewis crossover, which will be held here on campus.
The women's volleyball team remains undefeated in GLVC play as they swept both Maryville and McCondry over the weekend. The first 25 students who arrived at the game on Friday also received a free t-shirt. Bella Ray led the way for the Flyers on Friday with 13 kills as well as 3 blocks. Last Saturday, it was Jelana Van Loo doing most of the work as she racked up 15 kills. Bella Ray also had 8 blocks in that game. The Flyers will be back in action on Friday as they will be on the road to take on Indianapolis.
The Lewis University men's soccer team picked up their first tie of the year on Sunday as they were only able to score 1 goal against the Maryville Saints. Justin Darledge scored his 2nd goal of the season with just over 5 minutes remaining in the second half via a penalty kick. The Flyers played a clean game compared to the Saints, who had 12 fouls to the Flyers' 5. The Flyers' offensive struggled as only 1 of their 5 shots were on net. The men's soccer team is back in action this Sunday as they take on Indianapolis at Lewis Stadium at 2:30.
That's it for today's news. Thank you for watching. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis News on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Randall Sutton.
And I'm Tony DeNardis. Have a great night.